Howdy y'all, this is part 11 of Kentucky Route Zero. Going in just a second. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. A pet carrier for a cat or a small dog has been left by the path. Calcified rag wadded in the corner may have once been a blanket. You know, I don't think this game could surprise me anymore. There's been just so many twists and turns. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. Punch cards. Oh gosh, what was that lady's name? From start of Act 2, the interlude between Act 1 and Act 2, the artist. Is it Lula? A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. Shannon, you're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were young. You're too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have our interest at heart while really, you're in love with the young woman as well, and so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. I'm into it. Well, maybe I still have the knack. Good night, Dachi. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing. Real hot, bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. Just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. Why'd you stop writing? You know, suddenly, it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that. Inject a little, into those ugly beige boxes. So went back to the university and studied computer-human interaction. Then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. At off hours, I played around with the doomed love stories at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. Afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex. Now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. Too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. It's that old man thought it'd be the dog that we call Old Man. No, it's an actual old man. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that song? Oh, you've got a verse of my absent-minded warbling. It's, just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love, a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs, hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic. That is what we were talking about. We're a bit lost, actually. Oh, you came from the road. 0. No. Stay off that road. Not safe. Bizarre topology. You'll never get anywhere. It just brings you right back here. The bridge is out down there. Yes. We're quite marooned in this moment. But I don't mind not anymore. It's where my life's work is. The computer. Right on the other side of the spire. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot. To flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. That's saying nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffuse-based transistor circuitry? Sounds like it would short-circuit. Certainly, but not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others. It grows in non-linear chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through simple application of the classic horticulture, but we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Good night, Catley Cow. Get some rest. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. You're too late. Always too late. What? Say something? You were about to tell us about the software. Oh, the software. My life's work. Xanadu. You heard of it? Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article. Literary multitudes, hypertextual narrative is post-structural witness. Evolved, then deteriorated. I'm afraid you're too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted. Then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then to sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruins? You know, there's all these emotionally powerful answers, and then, not really. But I feel like I'm going to take something a bit serious. I drive deliveries for a small antique shop, and we're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghost of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghost, and I keep him there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you'd like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now? It's a mess. A catastrophe, or the site of some ancient catastrophe anyway, sure. The evidence is all around us. What's burning on that fire? Mysterium Trimidum. It sends the shadows scattering momentarily, lights the mouths of unseen tunnels. That fire is constantly reshaping my... Close your eyes, will you? Close your eyes. Only if you close yours. Okay. I can do it from memory. Good. Now. You are standing at top of a rocky peak. Tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomy of... Where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing. Sorry to disappoint. No, it's my fault. Shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. Better to be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting with no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on his project. He said we need someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing. Someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer. I've put in the hours, believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes, I don't know if I'm reading, looking, writing, or exploring. Often, in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? It only be entered with precise, faithful detail. It's all I know how to write. All I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. Closet-sized wall of knobs and wires loom behind the machine. Humming faintly, an electric typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. Sorry. How do you think we get it started? This whole thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it has a run key. Act 3, Scene 5. Xanadu. Xanadu. At Den of Ardo. You are staring at the Eid of Lud. Mal ik belden aton it fus. Ha! This thing is in rough shape. Do these switches do anything? Conway flips an unlabeled switch. O a standix at T inf road bf small ring you Okay, that's worse. Try typing. Kind of looks like a house. Type house. At Connie. In blood quit. You are in B-Quilt Aloe East West. Lula. Did that say Lula? Conway types Lula. The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it until it's uniform again. That's all I like to think of it anyway. Like shaking a snow globe. Ha. Worth a shot. Sorry, it got very loud and I was just struggling. Um, well, okay. Well, that was an experience. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. I kind of love the slow plotting pace this game takes. Like, it refuses to take itself too seriously. So, seen it for yourself. What's left of it. Is that the end? The chalky bones of a beautiful dream. You can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There was so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first, we only heard them walking heavily through caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. And then we caught a glimpse of one. But what were they working on? I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should have never tried to outwit them, but they were always too much for me. But it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Oh, do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula, Joseph, and I. Lula is gone from here, but still in there, in Xanadu. Don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that tangled highway, but Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation, till, but maybe, those weird interlopers destroyed my Xanadu. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them, to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines, crawl out to the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands. Knees from rock to crystal, then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now, leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Act 3, Scene 7. Where the strangers come from. Night insects chirp softly. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Worth a look inside, I guess. I want to stay outside. Okay. I'll stay with him. We can look for lizards. Okay. Make it quick. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Brian Berg, generous disposition, be missed. Below the inscription note is written in white chalk. HT8191T. Fill date, June 29th. Notes of almond. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Robert Bowling, Ben Severson. You think you two would have liked each other? Below the inscription note is written in white chalk. HT8192B. Fill date, July 24th. Weird finish. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Eric Pitkemy always had a far off look. Probably still does. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT8192E. Fill date August 1st. Aftertaste of rainwater. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Edward Lombard or Greg Land. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HT8192N. Fill date September 8th. Sweet and fungal. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Christopher Robinson would have wanted it this way. Below the inscription, note is written in white chalk. HT8192Q. Fill date September 9th. Maple and turpentine. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Graving Gregory Peng should have said something. Below the inscription, note is written in white chalk. HT8192X. Fill date November 1st. Sense of foreboding. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Graving unknown seemed reasonable. Below the inscription, note is written in white chalk. HT8192Y. Fill date November 2nd. Easy on the nose. Find any lizards? One. But it went under a rock. That's lizards for you. Why do you dress like a punk? Punk. Now what's a punk, little kid? What's a punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug specifically. It sounds lonely. Not for us. You just gotta make choices and own them. I was born this foxy. Came off the assembly line about half a foot shorter and all gray, no eyes. Going to have us clearing out in the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water. Bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering, visibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. Hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over. He knew we weren't miners. He slipped out onto the road. Just these two featureless shadows, and ever since that night, been detailing, coloring in, specifying. Feel more like myself every day. I feel less like myself without my folks. Sure, some people are born into a family. Nothing wrong with that. There you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't. Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Right, okay. Got what we need? Let's go. Act 3, Scene 8. The Hall of the Mountain King. And here's where we will end this recording. I will catch y'all in the next one.